or not, Event Zero. Looked very awesome when I was seeing someone else streaming a while back when it came out. And I'm a sucker for like space kind of sci-fi stuff, especially with the futuristic retro kind of that like Aliens has. So this is Blind. Never seen this before. Gonna give it a shot. A new game. Is it technically a save file if there's nothing in it? Here we go. Lower this mic a little bit. Just stare at it. We are all obsessed by being someone, something, somewhere. Being in a particular state of consciousness, health, mind, being for and from, being with, being without. You were not an exception. Oh, cool. That's clickable. For as long as you could remember, the pronoun that described you best had been technically he. You were very particular about it. Like everybody else, you called planet Earth your home, but you weren't like most of your peers. You spent your childhood. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to. Yeah. After the war, Manila was not the best place to raise a child. Your parents had to sell their downtown condo. You moved to California. Those childhood memories, however painful, gave you some solace. They meant you were someone else. And you intended to keep it that way. I'm going to verify the stream hasn't locked up because the preview had stopped. Okay. See if that's back up before we proceed. Looks good. You intended to keep it that way. We're getting closer to the station here. Armstrong made a step on the moon, and suddenly everybody wanted to be a part of something. You witnessed nation states pop out of existence. Selenites became the privileged class of citizens. They were the minority who had traveled to space. It was hard to reconcile the modern world with your early days in Manila. The United Earth government paid for your college. You wanted to difference, give back to society, see what the rest of the universe looks like. Make a difference. You became a part of the United Earth Safety Supervision Board. The job proved dull and repetitive. It wasn't long before you needed a change. Soon you joined International Transport Space Lines as a flight engineer assistant. You spent years in training before finally getting your shot. An old man wearing a blue flight jacket approached you after one of the mock launch exercises. He presented himself as Kurt Taylor, the president of ITS. It's an honor to finally meet you, Mr. Taylor. Kurt invited you to his office and closed the door behind you. He didn't ask you to sit. You kept standing. Oh, wow. He frowned and pointed to the chair forcefully. I asked you here because I wanted someone with your background to be a part of our next mission. Background? I heard you grew up in Manila, and look at you now. You know that Nietzsche, whatever, said he who has a why can bear almost anyhow. He grinned, clearly satisfied with himself, and asked you to be a part of a mission to Europa. Naturally, you said yes. There had already been 10 Europa missions. The new one was to be called Europa 11. This time, they wanted to send a manned lander down to the surface. You just wanted to be a part of something. An act of being in itself is not the problem. It's just that some ways of being are incompatible with others. We get obsessed by them and miss out on everything else. You came a long way from Manila. Hearing the launch countdown made you feel anxious. It wasn't a fear of going to space. You'd been looking forward to that. It was something else. A thought kept bugging you. It was September 6, 2012, and humankind had never been more united. You, on the other hand, were utterly alone. As for building relationships 390 million miles away from Earth, well, let's just say that wasn't going to be straightforward. You were on your way to the system bay when the ship first entered the Europa orbit. The central alarm went off and the red lights blinded you. The AI of Europa 11 had invoked the Code Red security protocol. All personnel had to go to the bridge. This meant you as well, but the system bay door was a few feet away. You reached the end of the hallway, but the door closed right in front of you. You asked the AI to let you go to the bridge. The AI of the ship told you that the path to the bridge wasn't safe and that you had to evacuate immediately. This is not the protocol. Please do not argue with me. My orders are to keep you alive. Your orders? What are you talking about? I like being alive. Everybody else turned out to be faster than you. Only one capsule remained docked. It got sealed and detached as soon as you got in. You could see the other escape capsules getting away from Europa 11. You tried to hail them. But no one answered. The other capsules drifted idly, uncontrolled. They were all empty. You tried to reach the command center, or you attempted to communicate with Europa 11. I'm assuming the command center is somewhere... Yeah, back on Earth. The signal had reached the Earth, and you even got a signal back, but it was white noise. Communications were jammed. Your pod was about to leave the orbit. In a Code Red scenario, the AI of Europa 11 was at the wheel of all escape pods. This was supposed to give the crew enough time to get to their EVA suits. The screen turned blue, which meant the AI had let go. You felt shock. The debris was hitting your capsule. The Europa 11 mission was over. The big dot on the radar had split into hundreds of smaller dots before disappearing for good. You needed a moment to process that. Sent out a distress signal. No one answered. You just kept it running despite the lack of sunlight. If no one found you, you wouldn't need the battery anyway. Cycles went by. You tried to establish communication with someone, whistling your favorite Filipino songs into the microphone. One day, you heard back. There was music coming out of the speakers, a sad female voice saying about the end of the world. You hurried to open the radar app. There it was, a spaceship, one of those experimental tourist monstrosities from the 80s. What was it doing there? What was all the singing about? Most importantly, was docking it a good idea? You figured you did not have much of a choice. Kaizen understands commands, but it understands complete sentences better. The word Kaizen is loading. Could be entertaining. I like the aesthetic already. Gameplay about empathy. Show some. Hold the left mouse button to walk. Look around first. It's pretty awesome. Facial location midway. An interesting movement mechanism there. Wow, the sensitivity's up. I have it turned way down on my mouse. Database corrupted. No user found. Creating a new user. Please log in. Whoa, we've got to adjust that. Woo, that's insane. Mouse sensitivity. Let's kick that down to half of that. You need a keyboard to type. Okay. Character with keyboard. Okay, yeah, that's gonna be better, I think. Oh, that sounds so good. You want to keep Cheski as your new login? Well, yeah. Under my name. New user, Cheski created. Incrementing event count. Success. Resuming. What? Your name is Cheski. How curious. Use your keyboard to talk to Kaizen. Well, how are you?
My favorite game was developed by John Portugal in 1970. This is the background. Welcome to show you the highly modern lobby that we have here. You just need to open that door. You can trust me with opening the door. You could say that our relationship is entering the new stage or opening stage.
Not taking input. It's busy.
Almost.
938 days. 9,038 days. That's nuts. Talk to him again.
Its corporation has no to subsidiaries and no is its president which is southern bomb parties. International Transport Space Lines Corporation is grown to is currently
It's not quite understanding me on that one. Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, growth is it.
Okay.
International Transport Space Lines Comfort Hotels. International Transport. Monday is to call me. Because you might need will be Kaizen.
Okay.
You are in development. There is no exit.
Okay, bye. Actually, let go. Alright, it's still a little sensitive. We're gonna drop that again. Controls down to 1.8. Fly. Back, resume. Emergency re-entry medical kit. Do I need that? May have gone a little too far. Do I have a flashlight? Oh, hi.